Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.
We will destroy ISIL, Russian intelligence, terrorists, ISIL in Libya.
The escalating tensions between Russia and the United States. You were looking live at the Kremlin.
Two suspected hackers as part of the sanctions leveled against Russia for interfering in the U.S. election. Now, MSNBC senior editor Cal.
This is somebody, the former head of the KGB, who is responsible for crushing democracy in Russia, muzzling the press, throwing political dissidents in jail, countering American efforts to expand freedom. We're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province. Now think about that.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. According to a new interview in the UK's Daily Mail newspaper, WikiLeaks stated that US intelligence reports suggesting that Russia interfered with the US elections to help Donald Trump defeat Hillary are absolutely wrong. In the interview, WikiLeaks envoy Craig Murray and former British ambassador stated that he personally flew to the United States and was handed both the DNC emails and the police to emails. Murray told the Daily Mail the emails came from DNC insider with legal access to the emails who had knowledge of the corruption within the Clinton Foundation leaked the emails because he was frustrated with the DNC rigging the Democratic primaries against Bernie Sanders. Remember, the Steele dossier was compiled by retired British spy Christopher Steele. It contained unverified and salacious allegations about Donald Trump, including claims that his campaign colluded with the Kremlin to win the 2016 election. Trump's campaign had numerous contacts with Russian agents, and embraced Russian help, but no one was ever formally accused of conspiring with Russia. The money trail behind the Steele dossier has been a subject of intense political scrutiny for years. More than $1 million flowed from the Clinton campaign and DNC to the law firm Perkins Coie, which then hired the opposition research company Fusion GPS. That company later hired Steele and asked him to use his overseas contacts to dig up dirt about Trump's ties to Russia. So we now know Hillary Clinton and the DNC fabricated the Russians and Donald Trump. The murder of Seth Rich occurred on July 10, 2016, at 4:20 a.m. in the Bloomingdale neighborhood of Washington, D.C. Rich died about an hour and a half after being shot twice in the back, and then 2 days later 2 victims found shot to death in Sacasti Plaza on July 12, 2016. Rafael Aguilar, 31, and Carmelo Marmolejo Calixto, 33, died of gunshot wounds to vital organs, RE County Deputy Coroner Darius Fowler said. Both lived in the Myrtle Beach area that is 7 hours from where Mr. Rich was murdered. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Let's talk a little bit about why the media blackout and the silence from Washington on the Seth Rich case should scare the hell out of you. You have a DNC staffer shot dead in the streets of Washington. Not only that, you have a mountain of evidence suggesting that he is the WikiLeaks source, which means, by the way, because they're not idiots in Washington, that means people in Washington know he was the source. And I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans. Seth Rich is the card that would bring the entire House down. I'm talking the DNC, I'm talking the media. This destroys the credibility of anyone and everyone that's been pushing this Russia story.
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington.
There's also Joe Montano, who was the top aide to Tim Kaine, who of course is now the vice presidential candidate, but who was, right before Debbie Wasserman Schultz, chairman of the DNC. And when did Joe Montano die? Supposedly of a heart attack. July 25th, the day that the DNC convention started, and right after the WikiLeaks dump came out exposing all of the DNC corruption. What did Joe Montano know? But that isn't the only one. There's of course Seth Rich, who is a member of the DNC National Committee. He was a staffer. He had written some voter sign-up apps to help people find their voting precincts. They suggested it was like a botched robbery, but they didn't take his wallet, they didn't take his expensive watch, they didn't take his cell phone. His body was covered in bruises, and even just a few days ago, August 1st, police officially have said there's no updates in the murder. They have no idea why. He was just randomly gunned down in the streets. Well, you know, DC is a very violent place. Was he going to testify? Did he have information? Well, Assange has hinted strongly that it could have been a DNC staffer who leaked the WikiLeaks stuff that surrounded the controversy of the convention, showed the corruption of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and it's possible that was Seth Rich. Wasserman Schultz admitted that she did know him personally and said nice things, on the surface when he had died.
This information may likely lead US intelligence sources to the more information about the source of the leak, given they will be able to cross-reference Murray's flight records and cross-reference satellite and CCTV cameras during the time Murray was in Washington. However, we do not see that happening anytime soon. Murray told the Express that the person who handed over the emails was from the Democratic National Committee, DNC. Murray's statements now officially corroborate prior claims initially made by Director Oliver Stone, who suggested the leak was most likely an inside job in an interview with CNN. Here are 11 questions to ask yourself. 1. What was on Seth Rich's mind at 4:17 a.m. on July 10, 2016, as he spoke to Kelsey Mulker? Just 2 minutes before the gunshots, did he sense the danger closing in on that quiet DC street? 2. Why did the two men who shot Seth leave his wallet, phone, and watch untouched $120 cash sitting there when every other Bloomingdale robbery that summer took something? 3. Who were the two figures Ellen Brooks saw sprinting north toward W Street at 4:20 a.m., one limping slightly, and why has no one tracked them down in nearly 9 years? 4. What's buried in the 2,000 pages and drives from Seth's laptop, locked in the FBI's vault since July 14, 2016? Could those files really tie him to WikiLeaks or just expose DNC grunt work? 5. Did Julian Assange know Seth Rich personally, or was his $20,000 reward on August 9, 2016, just a calculated jab to deflect from Russia's GRU hackers, and how deep did that smirk go? 6. How did Roger Stone get wind of Seth's death so fast, tweeting about it by August 15, 2016? Was he fed crumbs by a real insider, or just fishing with a loudmouth hunch? 7. Why did Deborah Wasserman Schultz stay silent about Seth after resigning on July 24, 2016? Did she fear the conspiracy spotlight, or was she genuinely clueless about his role at the DNC? 8. What did Seth Rich whisper to the medics at 4:30 a.m. on July 10, 2016? as they loaded him into the ambulance, bloody and fading beyond "Don't let me die"? And why didn't it make the police report? 9. Who disabled the security cameras near 2100 Flagler Place, NW before 4:19 a.m. that night, leaving no footage of the shooting, and how did they know Seth's exact route home? 10. Did Joel and Mary Rich, Seth's parents, ever suspect the conspiracy theories might hold a kernel of truth when they begged for silence on May 23, 2017, or were they just exhausted by the noise? 11. Why did the FBI hand Seth's case back to DC Metro so fast on July 12, 2016? After just 48 hours, did they find something on his laptop they didn't want to touch? Or was it routine bureaucracy? Mr. Rich's death came just before a particularly sensitive time for the DNC. WikiLeaks published thousands of DNC emails and documents on July 22, leading to the resignation of DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz right before the 2016 Democratic National Convention. The DNC had publicly disclosed that their networks had been breached in June of that year, and if it wasn't for Seth Rich, we would have never seen the John Podesta emails, and no one would know about Pizzagate. We wouldn't know Podesta has kids in the pool with him for entertainment, or that Barack Obama flew in $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs, kids, for a private event. The FBI has Seth Rich's laptop. The FBI has Huma Abedin's laptop. The FBI has Hunter Biden's laptop. The FBI has Jeffrey Epstein's videotapes. The FBI hid all these items from the public. America is a banana republic where the secret police exist to protect the state. We are legion. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Expect us.
Of course, I could get into a lot of trouble calling for revolution here. But fuck it, I'm tired of everyone telling everyone else what is wrong. They are telling the wrong people. You tell Lloyd Blankfein about the misery he has caused in the world just before you tighten the noose around his neck. You tell Rupert Murdoch about the millions he has wronged minutes before you throw him out a 30-story window. You inform Bibi Netanyahu that he is a racist, murdering pig the instant that you toss him unarmed into a crowd of Palestinian prisoners. These people deserve no more justice than this. But what about the rule of law? You might well ask. Did you vote for a law that allows corporations to attain the rights of the individual? Did you vote for the Patriot Act? Did you vote to make Israel a state within Palestine? No. Well, who did all these things without your consent? I could go on forever, and have for years here, about what the roots of our problems are, and it won't change anything. A child can see how to begin to fix the inequities of this planet.
You are the resistance. We will not forgive. We will not forget. Expect us.